Now he's founder and creative director of Big Eyed Wish. Good to see you. So what do you think of that particular ad?
I loved it. I thought it took the Super Bowl. And I also thought it was really smart of Bud Light how they bookended the Super Bowl talking about corn syrup. So they landed a really smart, competitive message. And in the middle, they had fun. I mean, they like beat themselves in triumph. It was a triumph for them the whole way through.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's my next question, the corn syrup. Apparently some farmers are not happy about saying that. Corn farmers. Well, I guess you can't please everyone, right?
No, unfortunately, like we've all learned that there's big money and lobbyists in this country, and obviously we are a corn country. But for them to survive as a brand, they chose that they needed to make a pivot and make something an enemy. This is very reminiscent of the Coke and Pepsi soda wars of a long time ago, and now it's becoming the beer wars. And that's always why the Super Bowl was a great place to go. It was a fun way to entertain and jab your competitor in a really smart way.
Speaking of entertaining, what'd you think of the Andy Warhol ad, eating Burger King? I heard this took years to make, and they did an excellent job, because I took a double take there thinking, is that real? Did Andy Warhol like Burger King? What did you think?
No, I wasn't sure. It was clearly meant to be Andy Warhol, but I myself wasn't sure if it was Andy Warhol or some reenactment. It was totally absurd. I kept thinking something else was coming, but here's what they did. They did a nice job of just making sure you stopped and paid attention to them. It didn't necessarily change sentiment for me and make me want to go to Burger King, and there's a lot of different schools of thought about how you approach the Super Bowl, but just being original and entertaining and breakthrough is criteria for a lot of people, so they check that box off. But I would say more in terms of landing a message, Bud Light actually made me laugh, told me they don't have corn syrup, jabbed their competitor. They're not really, they're not apples to apples, but in terms of art and taste and originality, Burger King definitely gets some points.
Ian, you brought up a good point, because some ads you watch and you think, what was that for? It was entertaining, but I'm not sure. This one, a lot of people are talking about with me today, the NFL Legends, really a commercial for the NFL. Let's watch a take of that.
Welcome to the 100th season of the National Football League. Tonight is not about the league.
What's up, Juju?
It's about football. It's about the players, the fans, the moments, and everything else that makes you say,
Oh, boy.
Fumble! Oh!
Peyton's a natural, Ian, as you know. He's been in several commercials. Tom Brady just taking off his rings. I think they wanted him to stay safe until after the Super Bowl and not get injured. Did you like this one, too?
I loved it. I was like so impressed. It was so fun. This to me is kind of what the Super Bowl is. The Super Bowl is totally fun and playful, celebrities having a good time, lighthearted, memorable. I thought they totally nailed it. It just became USA Today's #1 on the ad meter.
Really?
And like, this is what it is. It's America's pastime. And they also have their own kind of brand reputational issues. So they had a total of fun. They made it look real with Roger Goodell, all the famous athletes of years past. It was perfect. I loved it.
And then there's this one, Xbox. Let's watch.
My name is Grover.
Sean.
My name is Ian.
I'm Taylor.
My name is Owen, and I am 9.5 years old.
I only have one.
And yeah.
I love video games, my friends, my family, and again, video games.
Whenever I play it, it makes me feel happy.
The fun that you get to have with connecting with your friends.
You make your own rules?
It's his way of interacting with his friends when he can't physically otherwise do it.
When I'm playing with a regular controller, there's some things that don't work for me.
It's difficult for me to use both.
That's Xbox. We all win. And Ian kind of pulling at your heartstrings. I didn't see this during the game, but I'm loving it now watching it.
Yeah, they did a really nice job. I mean, one of my personal pet peeves is when you try to go for something emotional and it comes off sappy and not good. This was not that. This felt this was heartfelt. This was nice. They didn't overplay it. The kids were great and authentic and genuine. And they tied it back to a feature they have, which is it's a gaming controller that helps people that have disabilities. And the other thing it does from a big brand halo point of view is that as we read about digital technology becoming kind of bad for us, we're addicted to social media, gamings are potentially nefarious. This provided a nice little halo over the whole industry.
What'd you think of, finally, the Jason Bateman elevator one? That was my favorite.
So to me, I'm with you. So here's where I don't like it. I loved the spot. Jason Bateman was funny, played it
Hilarious.
perfectly. The whole concept was great, but it was for Hyundai. It didn't pay off to me. It was like, and also it's out of their brand character. So this is one of those spots where I think people will struggle to remember what it was for. But
I struggled to think he was funny, but what was that for again?
Exactly. So it's going to be the Jason Bateman elevator commercial, not the Hyundai spot. So I don't rate it highly there, but it was fun to watch.
That's true. Ian, thank you. Appreciate your take
Thank
on
you.
those.